Hi, and welcome to my channel. For those of you new, my name is Dave and I work in financial services. Now, these videos on my blog is about improving your financial knowledge, well-being, so you can, like me, reach your goals in the future. I've applied these principles to a net millionaire in my late 50s, so let's get into today's video. Now, this latest video is a common concept about the so-called 50-30-20 rule. It works for everyone, but it's a starting point about how you control your finances. So it's going to be different for people in the early years than the late years. But the concept is, shall we say, get an idea of where your money goes to into three respective buckets. So let's look at the buckets in questions. The first one is obviously your essentials, so your needs, 50%. Rent, mortgage, bills, utilities, life insurance, home insurance, car insurance, and possibly commuting for work with transportation. Okay. The second one is your wants. Okay, what you love to do. So it could be lifestyle, it could be entertaining, socialising, cinema, theatre, concerts, subscriptions, Netflix, shall we say, Sky Sports, Spotify. Also, it could be, shall we say, hobbies. So it could be sports you do, shall we say, lifestyles you do. What we call our luxury items, what we enjoy, shall we say. And then finally, 20% on so-called savings or paying off debts. So we're not talking about workplace pensions, we're talking about an emergency fund. We're talking about holidays, rainy day funds. We're talking about car loans, credit card debts. Okay, so allocating with certain things. Now it may be alien to most people because we don't track our spending, but that is a starting point for most people. Get started, learn where your money goes. Okay. Now how are we going to do that? We're going to create a simple spreadsheet, okay, and track your items, let's just say over a 3-month period, or it may well be get a simple notebook and jot down on a daily basis. Now it may seem mature, but you're going to be obviously surprised about where your money goes. Is it going, shall we say, going on the wrong essentials? Are you forever living paycheck to paycheck? Are you in a vicious circle of debt? Okay, so that's just starting point. Learn where your money spends, okay, or where your money's going. But we're talking about our net income only. Now let's break the categories into greater more detail. Firstly, our essentials. Now you're probably going to find your biggest expense is your mortgage or your rent. Most people's largest purchase month to month, okay? But are you living in a house or a property adjustable to you? Are you, shall we say, living in an expensive city, expensive neighbourhood? Have you got a 2-bedroom flat when there's only you? Okay, can you justify where you live? Okay, is it manageable? What about utilities? Your gas, your lecky, your water bills, shall we say? Okay, broadband TV packages. Okay, could you shop around? Could you consolidate? Could you review them? And as we found out, start of April in the UK, what we call awful April, prices increased. So are you getting the best deals? Okay, are you on the same deals you had 5-10 years ago? Okay, do you shop around? Okay, and then finally, what about insurance? Essentials, life insurance, shall we say, to cover a mortgage in a worst case scenario. What about income protection or critical illness so you can cover work? Do you get sick pay in work? Do you get full pay, half pay? But what would happen if you stopped work? How will you pay your bills? And obviously, what about home insurance, car insurance? So what we call essentials, things we're going to need every month before, shall we say, we start treating ourselves. So are there any things you can cut down, reduce to give yourself a better financial position moving forwards? Now let's deal with our wants. Okay, do you find yourself spending all your money on socialising? Do you go to the pub every day after work? Do you eat out every weekend with friends? Now I'm not going to say become a hermit, but is there a pattern emerging? Are you, shall we say, got a lifestyle? Say, are you keeping up with your friends and family? Shall we say, are you in a vicious circle? Okay. What about TV packages? What about subscriptions? Netflix, Disney, Sky Sports, Apple TV, to name a few. Okay. Do you need them all? Okay. Do you watch them all? Can you justify them? Okay. What about memberships? The gym. Have you got a gym membership? Do you still go? Now, I obviously got a golf membership, but I use them to my advantage. But it could be other sports, other hobbies as examples. Okay. What about eating out? Do you have a coffee every day after work? Do you make your own packed lunches? Do you buy out lunch every day? Is it expensive? But you're going to see patterns emerge. So are there any areas you can cut down on costs, shall we say, to give yourself, again, some breathing space? Okay. And then finally, shall we say, what we call savings or investments. Now, starting point is Have you got any debts? Are you living, shall we say, credit card to credit card? Okay, we've got to go with good debt, bad debt. Now, a good debt may be your mortgage, let's just say less than 5%. Your property increases, it pays over time, you're paying capital. Or it may be a car loan below 5%. But what about expensive debt? Store finance, credit cards, let's just say 20 to 50%. Are you making the minimum payments? Okay, is your debt being chipped away? Is it staying the same a month? Is it increasing? Okay, are you living at overdraft to overdraft? So instead of paying expensive debt, why don't you learn to make your money for you? So once you're clear, you've got, shall we say, no stress. You've got no worry. Okay, imagine being in a position if you could save £100 a month in an emergency fund to cover expenses, car breakdown, boiler breakdown, a new tyre, shall we say, repair on the home. Okay, I personally like to think £1,000 as the emergency fund. Some people say 3 and 6 months, but your starting point is get into the habit of saving, whether it's payday, whether it's the first of the month, standard or direct debit. And if you're going to save money or invest at a later date, do it in a tax-free IPA, a cash-free IPA, stocks and shares ISA, a workplace pension or a private pension. Okay. Imagine your biggest expense, shall we say, is a car loan. Okay, now I've got a car. I bought a car last year, but I now don't commute. So my car's sitting there Monday to Friday on the driveway doing nothing. Now it's not a problem, but does it justify why I've got a car or a nice car? So review, shall we say, do you change your car every so often? Okay, is the car affordable? Is it financeable? Okay, but about your mortgage or your rent? Okay, imagine if you were rent free or mortgage free. Okay, your biggest expense, it would completely change your outcome in the future. So there are things to do. Okay, but can you make your money work for you instead of you, shall we say, paying money on non-essentials? Now, this video or this scenario is not going to be for everyone. Okay, everyone's segment is different. Okay, but it's an idea, it's a principle, it works. So most people's starting point. We don't track our expenses, we don't know where the money's gone, but get into a habit. You will be surprised. Okay, do it over a 3-month period or a 6-month period, and then make adjustments. I'm not going to say you're going to change your life completely or become a hermit, shall we say, or don't socialize anymore, but it will give up undue stress, undue worry. It will improve your financial position in the future. Remember, if you like the videos, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, look at the blog, and we'll see you again on the next video.